Mark, good to see you. Today, we're going to talk through 3 signs that you may be invested too conservatively. We've talked before about the stress that comes with taking on too much risk, but playing it too safely can also create financial stress. So let's talk through some signs to determine if your retirement plan is too cautious. Number one, you constantly worry about running out of money. If you're overly conservative, your savings may not grow enough to keep up with your needs, especially over a long retirement.
Yeah, this is interesting because you're right, Erin. Most of the time we're talking about taking on too much risk, and we
Right.
commonly see that with clients and prospective clients that come into our office. But there's an opposite problem where we have people that are invested too conservatively.
Mhm.
And what they're up against is one is longevity. So if we have to get our money to grow enough to beat inflation and taxes. And traditionally, if we get too conservative, that's really the big risk, is that we're going to eat into that principal much faster than we think, and we're going to run out of money before we run out of time. But I
Mhm.
think the bottom line is it gets back to really having a retirement income plan. And this is
Right.
really common. Most people that come to us do not have this, because the plan should really drive the investment decisions and
Mhm.
ultimately how much income you need for the rest of your life.
Right. Really good point. And all of these points are kind of related, but yet number two, your money isn't working for you. If your portfolio barely moves over time and inflation is eating away at your purchasing power, your retirement income, which you just mentioned, could be at risk.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Inflation is the silent killer, and it's hard to see. But if you think about it, if your money's growing at 3 or 4%, and let's say you put it in a CD and it's not in a IRA, well, you're having to pay taxes as you go. And if inflation's running at 3, 4%, and even if we did a stress test and said, hey, what if inflation was running at 4% higher? You've got a problem because inflation is going to eat that up. So we have to take a balanced approach. So as you can see with this bucket strategy, it's not that we have to have everything at risk.
Right.
Yes, we want some at risk for the inflation hedge, but where we get our income is from that middle bucket, that income bucket. And there's a number of safe and conservative choices that we can choose to create that guaranteed income or that consistent cash flow that we need to maintain our lifestyle.
hmm All right. And then the last sign is if you avoid making financial decisions out of fear. If you hesitate to adjust your investments, even when it might benefit you, it could mean that you fear risk. Your fear of risk could also be holding you back.
Yeah, so again, the opposite problem is, FOMO, fear of missing out. So where
Right.
you see people trading Nvidia to buy something else or buy something else, and they're constantly trading up. So this is the opposite problem where people maybe back, you think about '08, many people got out of the market at the wrong time and never got back in. Well, ultimately that's all emotion. But again, I think what we have to do is step back, look and identify the threats to our retirement, and then ultimately create a retirement income plan. That's what it boils down to, because that will drive the decisions of how the portfolio should be allocated and what you're going to be comfortable with. Because again, there's trade-offs. We have to get some growth, but we
Right.
also need safety. So it's really finding that appropriate balance.
Right. And, Mark, I feel like this begs the question. Can you explain how investing too conservatively can be just as dangerous as taking on too much risk?
Yeah, if we think about it, I mean, 100 years ago, retirement meant you didn't buy green bananas because you didn't know if you'd be around long enough before they ripen. But now we have longevity. That's really the issue. You could be in retirement longer than you were in your working career. So if we invest too conservatively, we run a big risk of running out of money before we run out of time. And that gets back to inflation and taxes, because our money has to grow to accommodate that, because ultimately we're going to be stripping more of our principal down and then ultimately running out of money before we run out of time. So that is a big risk if you're too conservative.
hmm Right. Really good point. Can't put it all in stocks and you can't put it all in the backyard under a rock, right? So it's
That's right.
about having a plan that fits in line with your risk tolerance so that you stay with the plan. So, Mark, if somebody would like to sit down with you, determine their own unique risk tolerance and design a plan around it, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to talk to you. So if you want, give us a call. Our phone number is 303-681-0113. We can do a Zoom call, in-person call, or just a phone call, and let's discuss this. Let's really understand, are we
Right.
investing too conservatively? Or you can go to our website, McGregorWealth.com. There's a number of resources there. There's also a link to my calendar, which you can set up a call or a Zoom call or whatever you would like.
Great. Mark, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Erin.